Hello, and welcome to Just a Moment. My name is Kristen Harding. Welcome to the show. I have offered the availability for a guest or two to join us, but if they do not click in, I have a backup. And we've been reading the Four Agreements, and that is actually by Don Miguel Ruiz. And this is a Toltec wisdom. It's from the 1500s, I believe. And we have gone through the first and the second, and now we are on the third agreement. So, before I do that, though, I thought it might be fun to do another blessing card to get some people, some time to get to the show if they want to see it. But I use blessing cards, and this is the Blessed Bee series. And today's card, I was just kind of tickled to see this. It says, a blessing on your health. And can you see the lady and the dragon? Because you see, I believe that dragons have been greatly misunderstood and that some of them are champions for humanity. Now, I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. But from what I've seen in my mind's eye, they were here, they were real, and they roamed this planet. So kind of neat to see them still being characterized, even if it's in a drawing. So, a blessing on your health. May you, friend, be blessed with a rising of your own personal vitality. May life force flow into every cell of your body, inhabiting each fully with the desire for life and the yearning for the full feeling of all that is here for you to experience. May the cells in the blood sing their song with joy at being here, and may your bones be strong and whole, densely knitted in the joints to keep you upright, ever moving into the next step, a dance of love for the feeling of the world. May the muscles take shape and move with your form, and may there be flexibility and the great gift of movement for you. May your organs do their holy work, and may the health of the mind, curious yet peaceful, awakened yet rested, be yours. May the energy that belongs to the hail be yours, and may your every footstep bring a little more vitality, a little more joy and movement, a little more of a blessing to simply be here and in such good health. May you know peace within the temple of the body, and may a revival of energy be yours, like that of spring after winter, so you have a spirit shining with good health, the energy all about you radiant, an auric field filled with wellness, a field of energy you can drink from and renew yourself each day and night in this lifetime. May the blessings of good health and joy in your body be yours, and should it be challenged, may you rise and meet that challenge with courage and security in the wisdom of your blood and bones, flesh and energy field, and may all that brings you back to wellness come to you again and again. And again, that's Blessed Be, and the card, a blessing on your health. So now it looks like I've got a few people here. Very, very welcome. I'm just going to pop over to the comments and see who's here. Aw, thank you. It's nice to have people in your life that are supportive, isn't it? So let's start. Because where we left off, and we're starting now the third agreement. And the third agreement is don't make assumptions. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. We have a tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe that they are truths. We could swear that they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking, and we take it personally. Then we blame them by reacting, and reacting by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand. We take it personally and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. All the sadness and the drama that you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. The whole war of the control between humans is about making assumptions and taking them personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. We create a lot of emotional poison just by making assumptions and taking it personally, because usually we start gossiping about our assumptions. Remember, gossiping is the way we communicate to each other in the dream of hell and transfer poison to one another, because we are afraid to ask for clarification. We are afraid to ask for clarification. My goodness, is that really all it is? We make assumptions and believe we are right about the assumptions. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong. It is always better to ask questions than to make assumptions. Because assumptions set us up for suffering. The big mitote in the human mind creates a lot of chaos, which causes us to misinterpret everything and misunderstand everything. We only see what we want to see and hear what we want to hear. We don't perceive things the way they are. We have the habit of dreaming with no basis in reality. We literally dream things up in our imaginations because we don't understand something. We make an assumption about the meaning, and when the truth comes out, the bubble of our dream pops, and we find out it was not what we thought it was at all. An example. You are walking in the mall and you see a person that you like. That person turns to you and smiles and then walks away. You can make a lot of assumptions just because of this one experience. With these assumptions, you can create a whole fantasy, and you really want to believe this fantasy and make it real. A whole dream begins to form just from your assumptions. And you can believe, oh, this person really likes me. In your mind, a whole relationship begins from that. Maybe you get married in this fantasy land, but the fantasy is in your mind, in your personal dream. Making assumptions in our relationships is really asking for problems. Often we make the assumptions that our partners know what we think and that we don't have to say what we want. We assume that they are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we assume that they should do, we feel so hurt and say, well, you should have known. Another example, you decide to get married and you make the assumption that your partner sees marriage the same way that you do. Then you live together and you find out that this is not true. This creates a lot of conflict, but you still don't try to clarify your feelings about marriage. The husband comes home from work and the wife is mad, and the husband doesn't know why. Maybe it's because the wife made an assumption. without telling him what she wants, she makes an assumption that he knows her so well that he knows what she wants. And if he can read her mind. So she gets upset because he fails to meet her expectations. Making assumptions in relationship leads to a lot of things. A lot of difficulties, a lot of misunderstandings with people that we supposedly love. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think, and we don't have to say what we want. They are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, we then assume they should, and we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know. Again, we make the assumption that the other person knows what we want. A whole drama is created because we make this assumption and then put more assumptions on top of it. It is very interesting how the human mind works. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything in order to feel safe. We have millions of questions that need answers because there are so many things that the reasoning mind can't explain. It is not important if the answer is correct. Just the answer itself makes us feel safe. This is why we make assumptions. If others tell us something, we make assumptions. And if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. Even if we hear something and we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means and then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. These assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, then they should know what we want or how we feel. When we believe something, we assume that we are right about it to the point that we will destroy relationships in order to defend our position. We make the assumption that everyone sees life the way that we do. We assume that others think the way that we think, feel the way that we feel, judge the way that we judge, and abuse the way that we abuse. This is the biggest assumption that humans make. And this is why we have a fear of being ourselves around others. Because we think everyone else will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, blame us like we do to ourselves. So even before others have a chance to reject us, we have already rejected ourselves. That is the way that the human mind works. We also make assumptions about ourselves, and this creates a lot of inner conflict. Sorry about that, my podium is still packed, so I'm holding the book and reading it and holding the phone. So sometimes the phone slips or the book slips, but at least you know I'm not AI. Okay, so where was I? This is the biggest assumption humans make. We reject ourselves. This is the way the human mind works. We make assumptions about ourselves. This creates a lot of inner conflict. I think I am able to do this. You make this assumption, for instance, then you discover that you aren't able to do it. You overestimate or underestimate yourself because you haven't taken the time to ask yourself questions and to answer them. Perhaps you need to gather more facts about a particular situation, or maybe you need to stop lying to yourself about what you truly want. That sounds like a time for a sip of water. And we're turning the page again. Often, when we go into a relationship with someone you like, you have to justify why you like that person. You only see what you want to see, and you deny that there are things that you don't like about that person. You lie to yourself just to make yourself right. Then you make assumptions. And one of the assumptions is, my love will change this person. But this is not true. Your love will not change anybody. If others change, it's because they want to change, not because you can change them. Then something happens between the two of you and you get hurt. Suddenly, you see what you didn't want to see before. Only now it's amplified by your own emotional poison. Now you have to justify your emotional pain and blame them for your choices. We don't need to justify love. It is there or not there. Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, this means that we really don't like them. Of course, if you decide to live with someone, if you make that agreement, it is always better to make the agreement with someone who is exactly the way that you want him or her to be. Find someone who you don't have to change at all. Find someone who it is much easier. Okay, so let's start that over. It is much easier to find someone who is already the way you want him or her to be instead of trying to change that person. Also, that person must love you just the way you are, so he or she doesn't have to change you at all. If others feel that they have to change you, that means they don't really love you just the way you are. So why be with someone if you're not the way he or she wants you to be? We have to be what we are, so we don't have to present a false image. If you love me the way I am, okay, take me. If you don't love me the way I am, okay, bye. Find someone else. It may sound harsh, but this kind of communication means that the personal agreements we make with others are clear and impeccable. Just imagine the day that you stop making assumptions with your partner and eventually with everyone else in your life. Your way of communicating will change completely, and your relationships, if I can ever turn the page, we'll find out. There we go. Will no longer suffer from conflicts created by mistaken assumptions. The way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be, and then, even then, do not assume you know all there is to know about a given situation. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. Also, find your voice to ask for what you want. Everyone has the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you, and you have the right to say yes or no. If you don't understand something, it is better for you to ask and be clear instead of making an assumption. The day that you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly, free of all emotional poison. Without making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable. With clear communication, all of your relationships will change, not only with your partner, but with everyone else. You don't need to make assumptions because everything becomes so clear. This is what I want. This is what you want. If we communicate in this way, our word becomes impeccable. If all humans could communicate in this way, with impeccability of the word, there would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. All human problems would be resolved if we could just have good, clear communication. This then is the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Just saying this sounds easy, but I understand that it is difficult to do. It is difficult because we so often do exactly the opposite. We all have these habits and routines that we are not even aware of. Becoming aware of these habits and understanding the importance of this agreement is the first step. But understanding its importance is not enough. Information or an idea is merely the seed in your mind. What will really make a difference is action. Taking the action over and over again strengthens your will, nurtures the seed, and establishes a solid foundation for the new habit to grow. After many repetitions, these new agreements will become second nature, and you will see how the magic of your word transforms you from a black magician into a white magician. A white magician uses the word for creation, giving, sharing, and loving. By making this one agreement a habit, your whole life will be completely transformed. When you transform your whole dream, magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because Spirit moves freely through you. This is the mastery of intent, the mastery of the Spirit, the mastery of love, the mastery of gratitude, and the mastery of life. This is the goal of the Toltec. This is the path to personal freedom. We're on the fourth agreement. And the fourth agreement is always do your best. There is just one more agreement, but it is the one that allows the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. Think about that for a minute. How long does it take to make a habit, to break a habit? 21 days. 21 days to break a habit. Just do something different for 21 days. And before you know it, that habit is broken. Try it. All right, always do your best. Under any circumstances, always do your best. No more, no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive and changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be high quality, and other times it will not be as good. When you wake up refreshed and energized in the morning, your best will be better than when you are tired at night. Your best will be different when you are healthy as opposed to when you are sick, or sober as opposed to if you were drunk. Your best will depend on whether you are feeling wonderful and happy, or upset, or angry, or jealous. If your everyday moods, your best can change. In your everyday moods, your best can change from one moment to another, from 1 hour to the next, from one day to another. Your best will also change over time. As you build the habit of the 4 new agreements, your best will become better than it used to be. Regardless of the quality, keep doing your best. No more and no less than your best. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed, and in the end, your best will not be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself. It will take you longer to accomplish your goal. But if you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustration, self-judgment, guilt, and regret. Just do your best. In any circumstance in your life, it doesn't matter if you are sick or tired, if you always do your best and don't judge yourself, there's no way you are going to suffer from guilt and blame and self-punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under. There was a man who wanted to transcend his suffering, so he went to a Buddhist temple to find a master to help him. He went to the master and asked, "Master, if I meditate 4 hours a day, how long will it take me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you meditate for 4 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 10 years. Thinking he could do better, the man then said, "Oh, master, what if I meditated 8 hours a day? How long will it take me to transcend?" The master looked at him and said, "If you meditate 8 hours a day, perhaps you will ascend in 20 years. But why will it take me longer if I meditate more?" The master replied, "You are not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. You are here to live, to be happy, to love. If you can do your best in 2 hours of meditation, but you spend 8 hours instead, you will only grow tired, miss the point, and you won't enjoy your life. Do your best, and perhaps you will learn that no matter how long you meditate, you can live, love, and be happy." Doing your best, you are going to live your life intensely. You are going to be productive. You are going to be good to yourself because you will be giving yourself to your family, to your community, to everything. But it is the action that is going to make you feel intensely happy. When you always do your best, you take action. Doing your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward. Most people do exactly the opposite. They only take action when they expect a reward, and they don't enjoy the action. And that's the reason that they don't do their best. For example, most people go to work every day just thinking of payday and the money that they will get from the work that they are doing. They can hardly wait for Friday or Saturday or whatever day they receive their money and take time off. They are working for the reward, and as a result, they resist work. Then they try to avoid the action and it becomes more difficult, and they don't do their best. They work so hard all week long, suffering the work, suffering the action, not because they like to, but because they feel that they have to. They have to work because they have to pay the rent, because they have to support their family. They have all that frustration, and when they do receive their money, they are unhappy. They have maybe 2 days to rest, to do what they want to do. And what do? They try to escape. They might get drunk because they don't like themselves. They don't like their life. There are many ways that we hurt ourselves when we don't like who we are. On the other hand, if you take action just for the sake of doing it and without expecting a reward, you will find that you enjoy every action you do. Rewards will come, but you are not attached to the reward. You can even get more than you would have imagined for yourself without expecting a reward. If we like what we do, if we always do our best, then we are really enjoying life. We are having fun. We don't get bored and we don't have frustration. When you do your best, you don't give the judge the opportunity to find you guilty or to blame you. If you have done your best and the judge tries to judge you according to your book of the law, you've got the answer. I did my best. There are no regrets. That is why we always do our best. It is not an easy agreement to keep, but this agreement is really going to set you free. When you do your best, you learn to accept yourself, but you have to be aware and learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes means you practice. You look honestly at the results and keep practicing. This increases your awareness. Doing your best really doesn't feel like work because you enjoy what you're doing. You know what you're doing and it's at your best. When you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. Not because you are trying to please the judge, not because you are trying to please other people. If you take action because you have to, then there is no way that you are going to do your best. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, not because you're trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. If you take action because you have to, then there is no way you are going to do your best. There we go. Then it is better not to do it at all. No, you do your best because doing your best all the time makes you so happy. When you are doing your best just for the pleasure of doing it, you are taking action because you enjoy that action. Action is about living fully. Inaction is the way that we deny life. Inaction is sitting in front of the television every day for years because you are afraid to be alive and to take the risk of expressing what you are. Expressing what you are is taking action. You can have many great ideas in your head, but what makes the difference is the action. Without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no results, and no reward. A good example of this comes from the story about Forrest Gump. He didn't have great ideas, but he took action. He was happy because he always did his best, whatever he did. He was richly rewarded without expecting any reward at all. Taking action is being alive. It's taking the risk to go out and express your dream. This is different than imposing your dream on someone else because everyone has the right to express his or her dream. Doing your best is a great habit to have. I do my best in everything I do and feel. Doing my best has become a ritual in my life because I made the decision to make it a ritual. It's a belief like any other belief that I chose. I make everything a ritual. I always do my best. Taking a shower is a ritual for me, and with that action, I tell my body how much I love it. I feel and enjoy the water on my body. I do my best to fulfill the needs of my body. I do my best to give my body and to my body and to receive what my body gives to me. In India, they perform a ritual called the puja, Puja. In this ritual, they take idols that represent God in many different forms and bathe them, feed them, and give their love to them. They even chant mantras to these idols. The idol itself is not important. What is important is the way to perform the ritual, the way that they choose to say, I love you, God. God is life. God is life in action. The best way to say, I love you, God, is to live your life doing your best. The best way to say thank you, God, is by letting go of the past and living in the present moment right here and right now. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender, I'm battling my cat right now for my book because she wants to stand on it. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully alive in the moment. Letting go of the past means that you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. Sorry about that. Let's see. Right now, let go of the past. Okay, if you live in the past dream, you won't enjoy what is happening right now because you will always wish it is to be different than it is. Sorry, someone was standing in the doorway and that made me lose my place totally. There's no time to miss. Okay, then it is. There's no time to miss anyone or anything because you are alive. Not enjoying what is happening right now is living in the past and only being half alive. This leads to self-pity, suffering, and tears. You are born with the right to be happy. You are born with the right to love, to enjoy, and to share your love. You are alive, so take your life and enjoy it. Don't resist life passing through you, because that is God passing through you. Just your existence proves the existence of God. Your existence proves the existence of life and energy. We don't need to know or prove anything, just to be. To take a risk and enjoy your life is all that matters. Say no when you want to say no, and yes when you want to say yes. You have the right to be you. You can only be you when you do your best. When you don't do your best, you are denying yourself the right to be you. That's a seed that you should really nurture in your mind. You don't need knowledge or great philosophical concepts. You don't need the acceptance of others. You express your own divinity by being alive and by loving yourself and others. It is an expression of God to say, hey, I love you. The first three agreements will only work if you do your best. Don't expect that you will always be able to be impeccable with your word. Your routine habits are too strong and too firmly rooted in your mind, but you can do your best. Don't expect that you will never take anything personally. Just do your best. Don't expect that you will never make another assumption, but you can certainly do your best. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. You don't need to judge yourself, feel guilty, or punish yourself if you cannot keep these agreements. If you're doing your best, you will feel good about yourself, even if you still make assumptions, still take things personally, and still are not impeccable with your word. If you do your best always, over and over again, you will become a master of transformation. Practice makes the master. By doing your best, you become a master. Everything you have ever learned, you learned through repetition. You learn to write, to drive, and even to walk by repetition. You are a master of speaking your language because you practiced. Action is what makes the difference. If you do your best in the search for personal freedom, in the search for self-love, you will discover that it's just a matter of time before you find what you are looking for. It's not about daydreaming or sitting for hours dreaming in meditation. You have to stand up and be a human. You have to honor the man or the woman that you are. Respect your body, enjoy your body, love your body, feed it, clean it, heal your body, exercise and do what makes your body feel good. This is the puja to your body. That is a communication between you and God. You don't need to worship idols of the Virgin Mary, the Christ, or the Buddha. You can if you want to, if it feels good to you. Your own body is the manifestation of God. And if you honor your body, everything will change for you. When you practice giving love to every part of your body, you plant seeds of love in your mind. And when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. Every action then becomes a ritual in which you are honoring God. After that, the next step is honoring God with every thought, every emotion, every belief, even what is right or wrong. Every thought becomes a communion with God, and you will live a dream without judgments, victimization, and free of the need to gossip and abuse yourself. When you honor these four agreements together, there is no way that you will live in hell. There is no way. If you are impeccable with your word, if you don't think anything personally, if you don't make assumptions, if you always do your best, then you are going to have a beautiful life. You are going to control your life 100%. The four agreements are a summary of the mastery of transformation, one of the masteries of the Toltec. Your transformation hell into heaven. The dream of the planet is transformed into your personal dream of heaven. The knowledge is there. It's just waiting for you to use it. The four agreements are there. You just need to adopt these agreements and respect their meaning and their power. Just do your best to honor these agreements. You can make this agreement today. I choose to honor the four agreements. It's so simple and logical that even a child can understand them. But you must have a very strong will, and a very strong will to keep these agreements. Why? Because wherever we go, we find that our path is full of obstacles. Everyone tries to sabotage our commitment to these new agreements, and everything around us is a setup for us to break them. The problem is that all the other agreements that are part of the dream of the planet, they are alive and they are very strong. That's why you need to be a great hunter, a great warrior, who can defend these four agreements with your life, your happiness, your freedom, your entire way of life depends on it. The warrior's goal is to transcend this world, to escape this hell, and to never come back. The Toltecs teach us the reward is to transcend the human experience of suffering, to become the embodiment of God. That is the reward. We really need to use every bit of power we have to succeed in keeping these agreements. I didn't expect that I could do it at first. I have fallen many times, but I stood up and kept going. And I fell again, and I kept going. I didn't feel sorry for myself. There was no way I could feel sorry for myself. I said, if I fall, I am strong enough. I'm intelligent enough. I can do it. I stood up and I kept going. If I fell, I kept going and going. And each time it became easier and easier. Yet in the beginning, it was so hard, so difficult. So if you fall, do not judge. Do not give your judge the satisfaction of turning you into a victim. No, be tough with yourself. Stand up and make the agreement again. Okay, I broke my agreement to be impeccable with my word. I will start over again. I'm going to keep the four agreements just for today. Today, I will be impeccable with my word. I will not take anything personally. I will not make any assumptions. And I'm going to do my best. If you break an agreement, begin again tomorrow and again the next day. It will be difficult at first, but each day will become easier and easier until someday you will discover that you are ruling your life with these four agreements. And you will be surprised at the way your life has been transformed. You don't need religious or to be religious or to go to church every single day. Your love and self-respect are growing and growing. You can do it. You can do it. If I did it, you can do it also. Do not be concerned about the future. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. Just live one day at a time. Always do your best to keep these agreements, and soon it will be easy for you. Today is the beginning of a new dream. And on the next show, we're going to wrap it up with breaking the old agreements. I just love this book. And one last time, just so we know, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And we are on page 93 when we start up again. So that is all for now, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Never forget that you are amazing. You are loved. Be well, be safe out there. I'll see you on the next show. And don't forget, it's the 5-5 portal, so set an intention and watch it come true. Bye-bye.